Welcome to Tech in the Car. Today I'm going to talk about the new Audi RS3 for 2025. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more on the channel. I've got tons of videos on all kinds of cars, from electric to performance, from super expensive to very, very good value. Audi have given us our first preview of the car, driving it around the Nurburgring and setting a lap record, which we'll talk about at the end of this video, because first I want to talk about the design and the performance and all the other things that are probably more important than how fast it goes around the Nurburgring. Audi have said in the past there's potential to increase the power on the RS3 engine, but they've decided not to do it for this car. Still going to be 400 PS and 500 Newton meters of torque. I'm sure in the US it will be 401 horsepower, and so that will remain the same. So the first thing I would notice are the lights. So on the current RS3 there is a cool checkered flag daytime running light signature which is underneath the lights, and it actually has an animation. When you turn the car on, it says RS3 in the lights on one side, and it has a blinking checkered flag on the other side, and depending on where you are in the world, the side that runs the animation is different. I always thought it would be cool if both sides did it. Maybe you can program that, but anyway, Audi have removed that on the 25 RS3. It's got the same style lights as all the other Audi A3 facelift models and the S3. The only difference is now the checkered flag motif is at the top. The top section, which was the daytime running lights, part of the daytime running lights on the current generation, is now wider and has the checkered flags up there. I don't think you'll be able to have the RS3 animation in that space. I could be wrong, but I don't think you could. So it'd be a shame to be losing that, especially when it was a very cool feature of the current generation. The grille at the front has a different design, so it's changed from the honeycomb design to more of a double diamond size shape. It depends on your perspective what you think it is, but it's not as nice in my opinion. However, the grille itself is wider and larger. The next change is the area below the grille. There's now a gap down there, and there are 3 spaces for air intake, which weren't there on the current generation. So that's a slight change as well, and that's to do with the fact that the grille is wider and larger, so they've kind of had to integrate those bits which were maybe hidden below underneath into the grille. The other thing which has changed, at least on the car which has gone around the Nurburgring, on the side of the grille there seems to be covered in parts. Now on the current generation, where the number plate is kind of filled in, it looks like on that car the filled in bit is at the side, and the next section, which is really interesting, is the rear of the car. So I absolutely hate the plasticky bit at the back, which is at the bottom of the bumper, which is filled in. I think that's horrible. Oh, I just I don't like it at all. Audi have decided to do something about that, and they've increased the diffuser. So they made the diffuser bigger. It comes up basically into the middle of that section now. There's still little tiny bits at the side where there are reflectors, but it's a lot better. Big improvement there. And there's also a new reflector in the middle of the diffuser, which makes it look a bit more like a racing car, so that's quite cool. One area which drew a lot of criticism inside the interior of the RS3 was the steering wheel, which was a big round thing if you wanted adaptive cruise control and lane assist. I wanted that, so I kept my steering wheel, but lots of people didn't want that, and they got a car without those features, which is a shame. You shouldn't have to compromise on the technology to have a steering wheel which looks good. Well, that's changed now. Audi have moved to a squared off round steering wheel. So basically the tops and bottom are flat. That is actually originally from the Q4 e-tron, which I'm actually sitting in now. You might even be able to see it here. And it is now being brought to the other cars in the Audi lineup. And it is seen in the video of the RS3 going around the Nurburgring. So that is going to be something which is a big improvement. Available in Alcantara with a 12 o'clock stripe at the top. At least it's not round all the way, right? And I almost forgot when I talk about the steering wheel, but the steering wheel also has the red buttons from the e-tron GT. So we have our RS button, which is already integrated into the existing RS3 steering wheel, but now it's going to be on its own separate button. On the e-tron, there's also a boost button. Audi have gone back to the circular round rev counter tachometer that they had on the previous generation RS3. So you now have that. Other interior changes, of course, other features of the S3 and A3 facelift will be on the RS3. So there will be lighting on the inside of the center console. There might be a nicer material on the top of the dashboard rather than just plastic.
Are you worried about your online data? Well, I have a solution which means you don't have to worry at all.
It's called Aura, who are the sponsor of today's video. Data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, and anyone else. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests for me, which is a fantastic feature. You may already have one or two of these tools, such as a VPN or a password manager, but Aura has it all in one, and it's fantastic value. Aura is always working to keep you safe in the background so you can concentrate on other things which are more important in life. I value my privacy and I value your privacy. So go to aura.com/techinthecar for a free 2-week trial. I also think it's very likely that the seats in the new RS3 will be the same as the seats in the e-tron GT, which is a new RS design seat, not bucket seats, but sportier seats with the RS logo at the base of the headrest, maybe lit up as well. Talking about the Nurburgring, because that's what started this off and that's where we got the footage from, the RS3 went around in 7 minutes 33.123 seconds, which is a new compact record, 5 seconds faster than the previous holder, which I believe was a new BMW M2. And the interesting thing here is that doesn't come from improved performance from the engine, that comes from other changes. So I'll let Frank Stippler explain it himself now.
Der neue Audi RS3 hat sich vor allen Dingen fahrwerksseitig verbessert. Das Geheimnis ist im Endeffekt, dass du früher ans Gas kannst. Und das passiert eben mit einem feiner abgestimmten Brake-Torque-Vectoring, wo das Auto schon besser positioniert wird aus der Kurve raus. In Verbindung mit dem Torque-Splitter sorgt das eben dafür, dass du ab dem Scheitelpunkt spätestens mit weniger Lenkwinkel auf die nächste Gerade fährst.
Basically, they've set it up better for the racetrack. Will that make it a better car to drive on the road? Who knows? But the design changes hopefully are going to be better. However, the next question you have to ask is, when is it going to be available and how much is it going to cost? Well, I can tell you one of the answers to those. The new RS3 will be available to order from the end of August, I believe around the 20th of August 2024, and it will be available in showrooms from early October. Subject to change, of course, but that's when it's going to be available. As for the cost, I would expect the cost to increase about £5,000. It seems to me like everything is continuing to get more expensive. The current generation Vorsprung version is about £64,000 in the UK. I would expect the new version to be 69,000, maybe 70,000, just over £70,000, without any optional extras, of course. So it could get expensive. Stay tuned to this channel. I'll bring you all the latest news on the RS3. Please don't forget to subscribe and to hit the like button. And let me know if you have any questions down below. Thank you very much for watching.